Welcome back, all you beautiful handymen and women. So you see this piece of paper behind me there? That piece of paper, when I pull up at the front road there and I see a piece of paper on the door, I know one of two things. I know this is either an abandoned property or this is an eviction. Right away when you see that, expect for there to be a mess inside. And I'm gonna do a video on that mess here in a minute. But I wanna get to something else before I stop this video and start the next one, because they're really two different subjects. So what I want to say about this one is this is going to be a very large job. Just the scale and the scope of the repairs to be done here are quite large. I can also look around and see that as far as cleaning is concerned, it's going to be a large job for the cleaners, and it's going to be a large job for the landscapers. And I see some major damage on the exterior of this home that's probably going to mean they need to hire roofers and some other people too. Now, typically when a tenant moves out, whatever needs to get done to get it ready for the next tenant, there's owner responsibilities and there's tenant responsibilities. And normally there's enough money in the tenant's deposit to cover the cleaner, the handyman, etc. On this one, I know there's not going to be. It's not that just my work is going to take up all of the deposit, but by the time the landscapers and cleaners and everybody else gets paid, there's not going to be enough left over for me. In that situation, what should happen is the homeowners, the people who own this home, who ask the property management company to rent it out for them, they should be the ones paying me, and then they should be going after the tenants for the extra that was the difference between their deposit and what needs to be paid out to vendors. But this company, unfortunately, they're my largest client, but they're by far not my favorite client because they have had a history of not paying me in this exact scenario. What they're going to do is they're going to try to go after the tenant for the money first, and they're going to put off paying me. Now, they're a net 30 company, so they have 30 days. That's just part of the agreement when you sign on with these people, is they tell you they're net 15, net 30, net 45, whatever net they are. That's how many days they have to pay you. They've let you know from the beginning when you signed on that your invoice isn't late getting paid unless it's been 30 days. So that's fine. I can put up with that. But they will purposefully not pay me for those 30 days, hoping to get the money from the tenant because the homeowners don't want to spend their money. The problem is it tends to go over the 30 days. It's at 30 days that I contact them and say, hey, this is late. And they usually say something like, oh, well, the tenant's deposit wasn't quite enough. We're trying to get the money from the tenant. And then I have to say, well, the tenant didn't ask me to do the work. You guys asked me to do the work, and I'm going to have to go ahead and get paid for this. And they say, okay, we're trying really hard. We'll get to you as soon as we can. I promise we're trying. And then about a week later, I send a reminder, still nothing. Another reminder, still nothing. Just a whole lot of talk. And twice now in the past, what I've had to do is I've had to refuse to do a job that I know they don't have anyone else capable of doing. They don't have, there are not slews of qualified handymen flocking to property management companies. There may be a lot of qualified handymen, but they're not working for property managers, partly for this reason, which, by the way, is the same reason that I'm able to charge good money, is because they don't have slews of handymen flocking to them. There's less competition over here, so if you can kick ass, you can do really good. But what I end up having to do is I refuse to start a new job until I'm paid for the old one. I'll do 20 other smaller jobs, but then something important will come along and I'll say, y'all still owe me money for this other thing, and this is a big job here, and I can't risk not getting paid. So until I'm paid for the other thing, I can't start this one. However, as soon as you pay me for the other one, the instant that money is on the way, as soon as I see that direct deposit was initiated, I'll immediately call and schedule. And then they get me paid the same day. Just about every single time, they just go ahead and get me paid the same day, which shows me they could have. So where does that leave us now? So I've got property managers. I've got this house here that I'm in that really needs me. It needs tons of work, and they're gonna wanna turn it around. I know the mortgage is high on this house because it is a huge, really nice house that has been really messed up. So they're gonna need me to get it done right away. However, I have another property manager who's my second biggest client. And that property manager has been as loyal as the day is long. In fact, not only have they never not paid me, They get deposits when I tell them I need deposits. If homeowners don't like my prices, they explain to the homeowner that you need to go with this guy. He's the only one that's really gonna get it done at that price. Like, yeah, we can find somebody who will really get it done and get it done right. They're gonna be more expensive. Or we can find somebody who get it done cheaper, but they're gonna take a month to do it and they're gonna mess half of it up. This guy knows what he's doing. They have my back and they tell the homeowners like, hey, this is what we're doing. If you don't have your own handyman that you can send, this is what we have and this is what he costs. And then they always make sure I get paid, whether they get paid or not. They take it out of their own property management company's account to make sure that I get paid, and then they deal with getting the money from the homeowner. So between these two clients, the one who owns this house that I'm in right here, that sometimes doesn't pay me, especially if it's money that needs to come from a tenant, or a client who has been as loyal as the day is long for a very, very long time, they have this other move out that's equally as big, equally large in scope and scale, equal timeline. They both need to get done really fast. They're both in very expensive houses. So guess what I'm doing today? This one that I'm in, I'm about to do my inspection, which, by the way, I've got that video coming out soon. I have finished my property inspection checklist to the extent that I'm going to be able to make it available to y'all now, along with a whole process for how to use it. But today, I'm going to inspect this house here, the entire thing, top to bottom. I'm going to send them an extremely large estimate for the work that needs to be done. I'm going to have a line on that estimate that y'all may have seen before if you've watched a lot of my videos. I have a line that I will sometimes put in the estimates that makes them approve a specific line item and sign for it that says, yes, this work is approved at this price, and yes, we have verified that the money is available to pay you upon completion. I'm going to make them sign that before I ever get started on this property, and it's going to be an expensive property to work on. And then the other property from my second biggest client, my favorite client, that other one that's equal, guess what I'm going to do? As soon as I finish the inspection here and get all my pictures taken that I'm going to need for the estimate, I'm running over to that property today and I'm just going to knock it out. I'm just going to do it. And it doesn't matter how expensive the materials are. It doesn't matter how much labor I need to charge. I'm going to be fair with them, as I've always been. But I'm just going to do the job and invoice, and I'm going to get paid. So this house here, the property managers who are always trying to be cheap and see if they can wait for the tenant to pay and not take care of me, guess what? I'm not really taking care of them, at least not the way that I could. I'm taking care of them in that they will receive their estimate, and if they approve it, the work will get done. Even if it means coming here 2 days in a row right before the end of the deadline, I'll still show up and make sure the work gets done on time. But they're going to have to wait for that estimate, and the homeowner's not going to be happy that they have to wait, and the homeowner's not going to be happy at the price. I'm also going to make them pay a deposit just in case. They're going to have to give me 50% down. So that's the difference between how we treat the clients, and this is part of what you're going to need to do if you enter this world working for property management companies, because I feel like I've been clear. A lot of people tend to get the idea that what I'm saying about property management is that they're just all better, that it's the way to go because they pay you on time and they pay you good. That's not the case at all. The case with property managers is you only need a few of them to have more than $100,000 worth of work a year. Like $100,000 for your labor. You know, the sky is the limit, but you only need a few property managers to keep you completely stacked with work 24/7 every single day of the year. So when you get a bad one, and you will get bad ones, but when you get a bad one, you can just drop them as long as you find someone else to replace them. So if you go and find yourself 3 property managers, one of them you're probably going to like, one of them you're probably going to not like, and one is going to be like in the middle. Maybe not a whole lot of work, but they pay you on time and you're kind of indifferent. It's a decent relationship. In that situation, you need to go get a 4th property manager so that you can drop that one that you don't like as soon as you find a replacement, or however many property managers it is that you need. It depends on their quantity of work. But I guess what I'm saying here is treat your property managers according to how they treat you, number 1. And number 2, as I've said a million times, once you have a set of property managers, if any of them don't pay you on time, if they're super picky about your rates and they're always trying to bargain you down, if they're always trying to get you to itemize everything, if they have to ask a million questions instead of just trusting you to know what you're doing and to come get these homes rent ready and then move on. If they can't do that, don't drop them right away, but go find another property manager and then drop the bad one. And if that new property manager ends up being bad, find another one and drop them. And then maybe one of your favorites a year in just has a change in management or a change in financial status, or maybe they buy some smaller company and now they've got more houses and stuff just got all crazy. But whatever it is, guys, get rid of the bad ones. And in the meantime, do like I'm doing and prioritize your good ones. Because my best property manager, even though they're my second largest, not my largest, but my favorite, they're getting taken care of today. They're going to be fully taken care of before this weekend is over. And then the property managers for this place, they got a huge hassle ahead of them because I'm not doing them any favors because they don't do me any favors. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and then I'm going to actually show you in a new video, a separate video, just how bad this house is. So I thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope you're out there killing it.